It's our third holiday special. We made it. Santa should be on his sleigh by now, traveling around the world to deliver presents to all the people of Earth.
He's an Omega level mutant, right? Sort of like a superhero, but instead of justice, he delivers joy.
I think he's more like a god or omnipotent being, but he did team up with the Justice League once.
Ironic that we're waiting around on a former Justice League ally while we were on the run from the Justice League just about this time last year.
Yeah, with this whole reboot, we sort of got away scot-free, didn't we?
I didn't forget about your misdeeds, Super Sons.
We're the gate crashers now? Keep up.
Yeah, that's definitely Krampus, isn't it?
Yep. Not sure beanbags will work on him.
Time to get into my sack, boys.
Ooh, that is a real weird way to phrase that.
Not today. They've paid for their deeds. They've been good all year. Ho, ho, ho!
Not again, Klaus. This time I'm getting my fill.
Well, he really got ahead of himself.
Oh boy, Santa! I made you milk and cookies.
You want a Miller High Life? The champagne of beer?
Ha 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 ha! Oh, gate crashers, I'll have both. Happy holidays!
Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to Gate Crashes, where we break into your listening devices and leave gifts of us talking about your next favorite thing. Our goal is this, to make everything more approachable and accessible to everyone. But if you don't have a chimney, then you may be out of luck this time. I'm Jake, and I use he, him pronouns, and with me, as always, to eat milk and cookies, is my brother Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan. I use he, him pronouns, and today we're here for our third holiday special. We've been doing this for enough to have three, which is wild, first off. This year's a little different for everyone. I think this may be one of the first years Jake and I don't see each other at all. We usually, if
Merry Christmas.
if I'm somewhere else, we usually at least see each other for like a non-Christmas Day type thing. But this is the first year nothing happened, so we're doing this instead. This is our Christmas. And we're talking about one of Jake's favorite books this year.
Yep.
We will be discussing Klaus. More specifically, Klaus, how Santa Claus began. Is it Klaus or Klaus? I keep saying Klaus.
I assume it's Klaus, because that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
I used to say Claus, but I'm like, no, I think.
But I always think Santa Claus.
Well, I've heard it's. I touched on this a little later. That it's like Santa is a mistranslation of saint, or like a mispronunciation, and so is Claus. But I can't.
Or is it
I can't
a
be
misinterpretation?
sure.
Is it a translation thing or is it a misinterpretation?
I don't know. It could be both. It could be nothing.
Okay. So that Klaus. I'm just gonna say Klaus. That's just how we're going.
Santa Claus.
Claus. I'm gonna say Santa Claus. I'm not doing this. All right. So Santa Claus is written.
You're not playing Grant's games.
I'm not playing that. Klaus was written by Grant Morrison. The art is by Dan Mora. Dan Mora did the art, pencils, and coloring. Dan Mora is an incredible artist, especially when he colors his own stuff. And the letters were by Scott Newman. It is funny. I was thinking about it when I was grabbing coffee earlier, that Grant is the reason, like, I probably am as big into comics as I am as well. Jake is holding up his collected edition of this book.
I'm snuggling it,
which I have right here too. It's got
I
gold
also have the
pages.
the annuals. I bought this so I didn't have to wear out my single issues, and I just bought all of the
Yeah, just
collected editions.
But Grant is like why I'm so into comic books, because like the first like almost full run that we had was Grant's Justice League. So
Yeah.
they're
That's how we were
their
introduced mainly
their
to comics.
their work has kind of pushed us from casual like kids who like comics to whatever we are now. So
Monsters.
Jake, yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about what Klaus is about?
Klaus. I'm going to go with Klaus because,
I'm gonna say Klaus. Santa Claus.
On one cold Yuletime day, a hunter named Klaus wanders into his former hometown of Grimsvig to find the love and joy has been taken from its people due to the Baron Magnus. Klaus makes it his business to save Yuletime in the town from the Baron and the evil that lurks in the stone. Along with his furry companion Lily, who is a wolf, our hero will give out some toys and kick some butt in this reimagined origin story of Santa Claus.
I'm going to talk about this later, but this is just like a more mature version of Santa Claus is coming to town. It is the story of Santa.
We didn't. Jonas didn't have to see it, but Mommy's kissing Santa Claus.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to ruin anything. So Jake, give us a little bit of the history on Saint Nick.
All right,
himself.
so Saint Nicholas and Saint Nicholas Day. So Saint Nicholas was a Greek-born bishop. He was the Bishop Mora. He was known for the habit of giving out gifts in secret to those in need, such as children. He's also the patron saint of various things. I think it's like thieves, prostitutes, and children. His legendary quality became renowned throughout Europe, and his name had changed several times from things like Santa Claus and into what we know him as Santa Claus. His Saint Day is celebrated in various days in December and is a focus of gift. He was the focus of gift-giving holidays in Europe prior to moving of Christ's birth to December, because there's more evidence to show that Christ was born in summer. It was done to take the solstice away from the pagans. And it's still celebrated as in parts of Europe to this day. Dan's nodding his head.
Rage Against the Machine. We're taking on the Catholic Church.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We were both raised Catholic. All right. And now onto the pagans. So Yuletide, not time as it is in the story. So Yule or Yuletide, which is a Germanic and Nordic festival that coincides with the winter solstice. It is celebrated from December 21st to January 1st. It was traditionally the pagan holiday season that would later be Christianized in the Christmastide and later into Christmas time. Many Christmas traditions are holdovers from Yuletide festivities, such as the humble Yule log that you put on your TV so your uncle doesn't start watching things while everyone's trying to have a good time. Or, you put it in the fireplace. Yule is still celebrated by neo-pagans and in Nordic countries.
Talk a little bit about the Coca-Cola myth and the commercialization of Christmas. While many believe that Santa's red and white started from a marketing campaign from the Coca-Cola company in the 1930s, that's actually untrue, as it has been a long-time standard for the figure. I believed this for a long time as well. But the Coca-Cola version of Santa is what is the most known on the planet. And this has led to Santa becoming more.
You wanted to give them a Miller High Life, champagne of beers, not just a Coca-Cola.
No, those are for polar bears now.
Oh, that's true. It's good for their bones.
Yeah. So, Santa as an ideal has kind of lost that sort of spark that this book actually has a lot of, and he's become more of a commercial item to sell Christmas and those types of things. But the season still kind of has those ideals, and people do try to hold them, which is still good. Some of the major themes explored in Claus are kindness, joy, devotion, cruelty, giving, empathy. And I'm going to go out and say nature versus nurture. And I'll talk about that more in the second half of the episode, because that's something super interesting that I was reading in this issue. And I was like, oh, I didn't see that last time.
Oh, yeah. I catch
who-
something new every time I read it. I read it every year. This is the first year there's not a new issue of it coming out.
Yeah.
It's just because he's Santa's social distancing.
Yeah. And Grant is kind of busy with finishing up their DC time. So, who may like this story? This story has a similar structure to that of many superhero origins, and I think on the back itself, it does compare it to Batman Year One. Yeah, it says Santa Claus Year One, which is a reference to Batman Year One, which is the iconic origin Batman story. But not just that, it does have a similar structure to superhero myth. Superhero myth is taken from legend myth, and kind of everything's full circle.
Well, a lot of the things going after this are like straight pulp.
I haven't read the rest of it. I've only read the 25 Days one.
Oh, you only read Joe Christmas.
Yes, I only read that one.
That's not even like a story. That's just pictures of Joe Christmas and like a calendar.
Yeah, I know.
I love
You brought it to Christmas. That's why I read it. I haven't read anything else.
Now I gotta pull out The Life and Times of Joe Christmas. And his cat with one eye. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
This is, Jake, we're an audio medium. People can't see us
No,
talking.
you look at this.
I have seen that. Okay, so as I said earlier, it's more of a modern retelling, fleshed out version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. If you've ever seen that, I mean, they're all based on the Santa origin story, but this one is the, what do you call it? The definitive. There you go. And honestly, it's perfect for anyone who loves the holiday season or superheroes as a whole.
Yeah. And you're probably asking, where can I get this, guys? You can find it at your local comic book shop, and if you don't have one, call Third Eye Comics or visit them online at their online store. And your local bookstore probably will have it, or you can pick it up digitally on Comixology, or just buy it on Amazon or some other place on the internet.
Yeah, wherever you can get comics, you can
Now,
pick this up.
You should go read this. So, there are going to be spoilers ahead. And by the time I'm done singing this small rendition of Oh Christmas Tree, you should have already read it in its entirety. In the small amount of time that it takes me to talk about this before I sing it. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your bunches. All right, we're back.
I hope Mike doesn't cut that like my Walking Dead song.
Oh, he better not.
He cut it, and I still haven't. No one's gotten to hear the Walking Dead song.
I mean, once we cover Ghostbusters.
Bustin' makes me feel good. So Klaus, Santa Origins is great. I love Santa Begins. I really prefer it to Santa Far From Home. Or Santa Homecoming. Sorry, I forgot.
What about the Santa
difference.
Claus? With the E.
What's that one Christmas movie I don't like? I don't know. The Santa Claus. I don't like those movies.
Yeah,
so,
no, neither do I.
And mostly because I hate Tim Allen. All right, so let's talk about Santa Claus. Let's talk about Santa Claus's origin. I'm never going to be able to get this. Like, this pronunciation is not. It's going to be this whole episode where I keep going back and forth every single time I say it. I'm sorry to anyone who's listening looking for holiday joy, but I can't even speak. All right, Jake, let's talk about the origins.
Oh, so he was found on the ice in the grip of his mother, who had frozen to death and frozen standing up, only to be found.
I thought she froze on her knees, like holding him.
No, I think she was still standing. Let me bust open this tome.
It's good content. People love it.
This tome. Just of everybody's, Ooh. Oh, no, you're right. She was on her knees.
Yeah, she's on her knees. Like she's like in like a prayer stance, which is like it's really sad, but it is 100% a hero origin story. He gets raised by other people. His parent dies. He becomes this mythical being who does good for others.
I'll be honest. I think if this was ever made to a movie, there's only one person I would choose to direct it. Zack Snyder.
Ew. Jesus.
He's Klaus is a Christ-like figure in this.
Yeah, who ham-fisted home about Christ like Zack Snyder? Yeah, Superman's going to open his arms in a T pose. We're going to have to want to look into what that means. Oh, it's Jesus. No, it's a little deeper than that. No, it's Jesus. Yeah, but he really is.
Oh, wait. Can I talk about how Xmas is still not taking Christ out of Christmas?
No.
It's Crossmas.
Let's stick to this story.
Sony was right. It's Crossmas.
So, another cool thing about this whole origin story is that Klaus actually means victory of the people, which is very... I mean, Santa is a superhero. I'm just going to go out and say that from this story. He is. I mean, people look up to him.
He
people
also
love
got
him.
into a fist fight with Lobo.
Yeah, but like he's a superhero. That's all he is. Like,
yeah,
everything is a superhero at the end of the day, right? But yeah, let's talk about him getting framed, though.
So he was a young man at the time, but he was the captain of the Grimsvig guards, and he had I guess he was courting, the friend of.
I think he just liked her.
Yeah, I think he was
in love with her.
Yeah, I think he was in love with her. I don't know what happens after everything, but whatever. With Dagmar, the Baron's daughter, and he was the personal guard of the Baron, and then I guess he would be the court medicine guy. What would be the term? I don't want to say court wizard because he's not
wizard.
Yeah, he's not the court wizard, but
he does do magic though.
I guess
he puts a spell on Dagmar because he says it when
I think he tries to frame it like that, but yeah, let's just call him court wizard. So he poisons the Dagmar's father, blames it on Klaus, and says, "Hey Dagmar, hey, want to go out sometime?"
You got the Chad Claus over here, and then you got the little nerdy wizard boy who poisons the Baron, which is sad because like he's like, "Oh no, time to drink your medicine," but the medicine's just poison. He's been poisoning the Baron, and then he frames Klaus for it because he sucks. That's just the end of the day, he just sucks.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't see the twists coming because they didn't give, like when Grant was saying, they didn't give a ton of background. Like we don't really know if Klaus was raised by the city or by the Baron himself. So it was like, when I was ready for them to have a nice reunion, and then she slaps him and is like, "You killed my father," and it's like, oh dang, that's not, oh yikes. But then you realize that Klaus left because she chose to believe little wizard boy rather than Chad, like the Chad Claus.
Well, I mean, the Chad Claus with real magic and not just like poison.
Yeah, just poison. But it's kind of sad because like that really hurt him, and his heart was broken, so he let them take him. Like he didn't fight it. Like he wasn't like, which is he should have probably stood up for himself.
Now we got to talk about Lily.
Oh yeah, talk about Lily.
So Lily is his wolf companion, and on a hunting, they were just hunting the wolves and killing them. Klaus finds a puppy and says to him, I guess he says to himself, "I'm not going to hurt you," and just tells it to leave. And when he's cast out of the city, he's stripped of everything and left to die in the middle of winter, only for Lily to be fully grown and to cover him with her body, keep him alive.
Yeah, because they were hunting. They were hunting these wolves, and he was on the side looking for the rest of them, and it turns out it was a little baby. and he was just super nice to it. And from there, it ended up saving his life. So his kindness and empathy went much further than he realized. So it's like from the start, he's learning this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we should talk about his Klaus's abilities. I don't know what you would call them. His magic.
Well, okay, so he has the ability to make. Well, he makes toys. He's always made toys, and they have the ability to move by themselves. I guess when he was a child, it was because of partially because of the great tree that he'd take the wood from, and partially because the spirits protected him when he was a baby, and then eventually he would be protected by the light, the Aurora Borealis ghosts.
They're the Shining Family.
The Shining Family.
Yeah, I wrote it down because I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the Shining Family and some spooky ghost boys, but they're also probably aliens.
Or from another dimension, because the fifth dimension is something that Grant does a lot throughout their books.
Yeah, but also you haven't read the rest of them. There's a lot of aliens.
It also sounds right.
Krampus even says, "I'm going to take you to the rim of space and eat you."
Krampus stuff.
Krampus.
But I think the biggest power was the little flute that he plays, where he just kind of is like,
and then he trips balls.
Yeah, he makes a magic brew to heal himself, and then he's like, "Oh, here we go! Time to go into the rainbow dimension."
I'm gonna make so many toys. He made a lot of toys, and then he
just does acid. It's fine.
He does.
But Santa's design in this is unreal. It's just such a cool look.
Yeah, and it just gets better and better with each series, each installment.
Which is cool because it's not like it's not like he's a superhero, he's getting new suits. It's just like over time he gets more stuff.
Yeah.
And he gets older, and he's immortal, but he does eventually look older, doesn't he?
Yes. I was thinking about that earlier because he doesn't die, but he looks slightly older. Gmaybe it's just he's getting snow in his beard.
Well, I think he eventually progresses into white hair.
I do think that's what it's gonna end up being.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also has robots of different versions of him that help him out.
What?
Oh, so every other version of Santa, like Santa Claus and
what's the big
Father Christmas?
Is Father Christmas the big one with the barrel chest?
I can look.
No, it's fine. I'll look it up later.
Yeah. I have them all right next to me.
Yeah. So, what? He builds robots of himself?
I mean, he's got the power to bring things to life through. Yeah. So, he has this. So, at some point after this story, and this is spoilers for the other installments, he goes to the moon to fight the Moon Men. Or the Martians, I can't remember. I haven't read it yet this year.
Okay.
And he gets chained to the moon.
Okay.
I think that's by the Witch of the Winter. And then he comes back and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Santa Claus. I'm here to save the day. I need some help." And he has a base, and all the robots are just standing Justice League style of museum.
So basically, he makes a Santa Justice League.
Yes, it's exactly what he does. And he has sidekicks like Joe Christmas.
All right.
Joe Christmas is his Bucky. After
he kind of dies and comes back from the aliens, he gets a cool sled, which is led by wolves. And it has this kind of cosmic, interdimensional,
did you notice,
distortion.
Yeah, did you notice that it's pixelated?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was like, is my book buffering?
Yeah,
what is that?
I was like, wait, this is wrong. I had to pick up my other issue. I'm like, oh wait, no, this is how it was.
Yeah, it's very cool because then Krampus touches it and it makes it he basically Ghost Riders it and makes it into a Ghost Rider sleigh.
Yeah, Krampus did.
With flames and stuff. But yeah, he's got this cool sled led by wolves, which is just, you know,
And I think one of the
rad.
most like something that's really important about the way he looks is when he has his hood up, the only thing you can really make out is his orange eyes.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Witcher, right? Like, why does he have weird eyes?
Yeah, he's a Christmas Geralt.
Yeah, essentially. I think he's cooler, but
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I
we
love
should talk about Grimsvig though as like this kind of the whole city is depressed because the Baron.
Well, he's forcing them to mine to dig out Krampus,
which is wild. But like he's taking everything from them. He's taking their joy. He's taking their toys. He's literally depriving them of all.
and then he gives them all to his son, and his son has like a power complex and just breaks everything. Until his mom says, "Hey, no, I mean you shouldn't break that. Let's keep the party going."
No, so I think there's a lot more to this to Jonas, because I think Jonas is maybe one of my favorite characters because he is being raised. They're telling him he's sick. He's not sick.
No.
They're saying he needs to be kept away from everyone else because he's...
No. They're telling him that everyone else is sick.
Oh, and they're telling the people he's sick.
They're telling everyone else that he is sick. Yeah.
Okay, so he's being raised in isolation, essentially. Given everything he wants, he's being given everything else from everyone, being told that he's better than everyone else, and given this mindset that being cruel is the way to be because you should always be watching people instead of being kind and trying to raise people up with you rather than what he thinks is right, which is conquering them. So after Klaus and Dagmar re-meet and she like kind of rekindles that idea of kindness and joy, and she goes to give Jonas the toy that Klaus gave her to give to him.
She's so excited about it.
His immediate response is to hold it up and pretend he's a giant and he wants to destroy it. But he's doing that because that's what he's taught. It's the nature versus nurture idea that he is being made cruel by the world around him. No one is cruel from the start. I do believe that. I do believe it's made the world. Like no one comes into this world good or bad. It's what you're taught. And even Klaus says that later in the story when he's fighting Krampus. He said, there are no bad children. No child deserves wrath. And Jonas is like, I'm going to destroy this toy like I'm a giant. And his mom's like, no, what if he actually worked together with this bird that she has symbolizing her, that they would work together and create magic together. Like it doesn't work if you're not working with other people.
I mean, the bird is a little telling because, I mean, none of them can leave the castle. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's a caged bird.
Yeah.
And she's also caged in a lie.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is just like very symbolic of this is the conditions that they're in. This is what they're being put through by this very evil man who wants nothing but power because he isn't humanized, which is I think is good because most villains are given like, oh, you should feel bad for them. You don't want to feel bad for Magnus. He's bad. He's bad to the core. He wants power because he's weak. Mm-hmm. And he's doing all this because he's weak.
He just kind of starts breaking down because of Krampus speaking in his head.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because he's not getting what he wants.
Yeah, he's losing control of that because he's losing. Well, okay, so he's losing the control over the people because of Santa Claus, but also because of that, it's making Krampus angry. And in his head, he's thinking, wait, if I don't get what I want from Krampus, everything I've done is for nothing.
Yeah, he's losing any chance that he wants real power. He just wants power. He wants to be able to control people as he does to his wife and child. And he uses his son to try to get Klaus into a trap. He's a very evil character, and I think it's a very good symbolic thing of the dangers of power and deity, because he's like worshiping. He's not worshiping, but he thinks he can control a god, essentially, with Krampus. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to release this thing, and it's going to give me power because I did this. But really, he's just being used by an ideal and being
he can't control Stan Smith's dad.
Yeah. but it's that whole scene is like probably my favorite out of the whole story, because it's really showing of how this child isn't evil. He's not. It's just what he's being raised in. And that's
at the end of the series, he calls Klaus father.
Yeah, Father Claus. But it's like, it makes for a really good comic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's wonderful. Love it.
So I got more about this. A big theme about this for me was the kindness and the cruelty. Like that, there's a perfect balance of that in the story shown through Jonas and Finn. Finn was probably my favorite character.
Well, I do want to say something about Finn. Finn, most of the kids never really lose hope. And Finn is one of the most important parts of the series. He doesn't lose hope until he sees Klaus die. But he also holds on to some hope of, we can do this, we can get out of this somehow.
Yeah, I don't think he loses hope. I think
it shifts. He doesn't lose hope. He loses hope in Klaus for a minute, but it still sees the possibility of escape.
Yeah, so I think Finn... All right, so Finn in the beginning is shown to be playing with a rock. And the guards are like, oh, is that a toy? Give that to us. You can't have toys. And Klaus is like, it's a rock. And he's like, anything can be a toy in the hands of a child. And the guard, like Klaus tries to protect him because the guard hits him. And they beat Klaus. They just destroy him. They step on him and stuff.
They take all his stuff. They take his cape.
Mm-hmm. So Finn, later in the story, after Klaus is caught in a trap and tries to escape, he's like... He's poisoned and stuff like that. And Finn is like, hey, you can come stay with my family. Like, we'll protect you. Even though he knows they can get him killed. End of the day, he's a kid, but he understands that nothing good will come out of this. But he drags him out of the city by himself. And then eventually meets up with Lily and she helps. But he does all of this because he is shown kindness while Jonas is showed cruelty. Finn has the idea that things can get better because that is what he is shown, while Jonas is cold and mean because that is what he is shown. So it's showing that there's these two children they're both kids. There's nothing different about that. Mm-hmm. They're both raised in very different environments and shown very different things, and that imprints upon them, and they do what they think is right. So showing kindness in a world where there's only cruelty goes a long way. So I think that's a big thing in a lot of Grant's work. They do a lot of that, especially with like Superman and things like that. But
the first image you see at the Yuletime festival is, other than Dagmar and Klaus dancing, is on the far left of the page, which, because it goes year by year, multiple years, is Finn and Jonas becoming friends and playing. And then you see them being friends throughout it until Finn meets a girl and all of that. And it's just like, oh, these are people who were told that they could never meet, but here they are becoming friends immediately.
Yeah. And I think another thing with Finn is Gunnar, his father, Gunnar Morrison, who's like one of the characters shown through the mine, being forced into these cruel work conditions. But as Krampus is like going and burning down the castle and like fighting people, like all that stuff, Gunnar is a human. He jumps on this demon, this flame skull demon's back, slashing into it by himself.
Pickaxe.
Yeah, fighting against all odds because he wants to protect people. Like, he wants to protect his family, but he's trying to protect people.
He gets thrown into a brick, into a stone wall, and says, "I'm fine, let's go."
Yeah, and he like helps his family get out. Like that, like characters like that are so... I love it. But you want to talk about Magnus a little bit?
Well, I think we already touched on what I wanted to talk about on that, but I do think we should talk about the forced mining for Krampus. Like, how did Krampus get down there, but it was also in a book? He was sealed away.
I think it's symbolic.
Yeah.
I think he's locked away because...
Well, no, he's sealed away. He's the
root of the evil.
Yeah, he's
what's making all this bad stuff happen. I do think the Magnus thing, he like gets worse over time, because like in the beginning,
the closer they get to him.
Yeah, he becomes more vampiric. That's what I thought he was when I first saw him.
Yeah,
Like he's got the cheekbones and like the narrow face, the gray and the hair.
But then his hood starts going up more and more.
Yeah. He's got real big vampire vibes, but
He does.
My favorite part with Magnus is when everyone's like when Klaus is about to fight. Oh no, Klaus just got stabbed by Magnus.
Just
Magnus
run through
with the blade.
Great sword.
And Magnus goes up to Krampus and is like, I want what I deserve. And Krampus burns him alive and just kills him. And I was like, yep, that's what you deserve. Like, so many people have died because of what Magnus wants and his journey for power. He had it coming.
Well, you said that there's nothing that humanizes Magnus. But in that moment, and in most of the moments about Krampus being out, Krampus wants the naughtiest child, which in his mind is Jonas. And Magnus does care about his son.
Yeah, he does do that. But he does get killed, which...
Yeah, but his last words are to save his son.
Yeah. He basically was like, you said you wouldn't take my son.
Mm-hmm. He was still selfish in that moment, but...
At least he cared about someone.
Yeah.
I think he did love his wife. I just think he did it in the wrong way. Like, he was controlling. Like, he didn't actually love her. He just wanted somebody to control.
I think he was more so jealousy of her relationship with Klaus.
Yeah, I think that's how it's... No, but I think he absolutely wanted control afterwards. Because Klaus was gone for a very long time. But he still did everything that he did.
Yeah, I mean, Jonas is probably about 10.
Yeah, probably. But another big theme of this is death and resurrection and into immortality.
So, like I said, Klaus is a Christ-like figure. He gets more or less crucified on the ice.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he is. Because I guess they thought the wolves were going to come eat him, or he was going to die from exposure. And
probably.
He's like on a frozen lake. He is pinned down, and he does die. And then the family of light comes in, and along with the other little ghosties, and they're the forest spirits. That's what they are. They come in and revive him. He's frozen all the way down into his heart. And then him and Lily are revived.
Yeah.
And then there's more wolves that can fly.
Yeah, the reindeer. I do like the idea of removing Christ and putting Santa there and being this this figure. And I haven't read the other one, so I can't talk about the aliens for the other stuff, but making him this like figure of good and hope in the universe is really cool. I loved when he beheaded Krampus because he is just doing the ho 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 as he kills him up in the upper atmosphere, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's nowhere this series doesn't go. It starts out in a fantasy-esque place, and it just says, "Nah, we're gonna do everything." But it's primarily becomes like a pulp series. Like think airships and like a team of people with specialties.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna read it because it's I ordered them, but I just haven't gotten to read it yet. But let's talk a little bit about Dan Mora.
And how he deserves everything. He deserves to have all comics presented to him as the option to draw.
Yeah. Dan Mora was recently announced as the artist on Detective Comics, which is incredible because that's a big book.
That is the namesake of a company.
Yep, kind of a big one, Detective Comics. But Dan has done incredible work across the board, like every company he's been at. His Power Rangers spread of all the Power Rangers, one of the greatest pieces of artwork, period. I should look to buy a print of that. I don't know if you could buy that. But Dan Mora has this unique style. No one else is like it. It's just unbelievable.
Especially when he colors it himself. He's got a pop to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dan Mora is probably the best artist. I love Dan Mora.
Give him the keys to the castle.
Yeah. Do you know we did a Godzilla poster for War of the Monsters?
I feel like I've seen it.
But yeah, Dan Mora is just like one of the goats. I mean, Grant Morrison as well, but we've talked about them before. We haven't really gotten a chance to talk about Dan Mora yet. Grant is
Grant is
probably
Grant.
the greatest comic book writer of all time.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, I really this is the kind of book I need around this time of year, just because it's like a really good reminder of good and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Especially a year like this year.
Yeah. But other than that, what is there anything you're gonna watch for Christmas this year, Jake? Is there anything you're looking to do for the holiday? Is there any specials? Anything you're gonna watch?
What am I gonna watch? Watch. No, I'll probably just read the rest of these.
I think I'm gonna watch you don't know, Shudder. There's a show called Creep Show, which is an extent. I think it was maybe a comic, or it was in a comic book style. But it's an anthology television show based on an anthology movie, and they did a Christmas special that I'm very excited for. So I'm gonna watch that tonight. But other than that, I think probably the normal Christmas stuff. Nothing crazy. But yeah,
Miller High Life, the champagne of beer, right? Under Christmas tree, wearing nothing but a onesie. And a hat.
Yeah, this is the last recording we're going to be doing for this year. Our next episode was recorded a bit earlier, so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's listened, stuck with us through our reboot. A lot of cool new things next year. Our website is up.
Yeah, if you guys want to make some cookies, I just put an article up about my cookie recipe.
Yeah, so we're really thankful. We hope you have a good holiday season. Take some time off for yourself. Try to relax. I'm going to try to as well. We'll see.
Yeah, no, you're definitely doing it.
But yeah, thank you so much. We're very excited to keep doing this, and next year will be just another year of more stuff and cool new things. So hope everything goes well, and we'll see you in the new year.
Happy holidays.
It's the Gay Crashers.